I finished it finally. And also, I did just finish up the anime. I saw the last episode when it was now released on the fourth one, released this Sunday, and boy, they. I'm, I'm personally a little bit disappointed. Uh, Most Critical and Pavamir already made a video about this, but I also wanted to like throw my take just because I recently made a video about the third episode, me like kind of like wondering like what the fuck is going on, and I was kind of like already mentioning that I'm also started reading the manga, which I'm, as mentioned, I just finished. I finished after I saw the fourth episode though, so I mean I have that. Uh, what to say about it? So there's a lot of things that I kind of enjoyed with the anime still, but there was a lot of things I felt like could have been a lot better. First of all, a lot of people have been complaining the production, which I didn't really mind that hard. Some things looked really, really goofy though. But other than that, I didn't really mind that very much. I feel like the first episode was glorious. The second one was, it's fine, it's good. But you saw like the drop in the quality, which once again I didn't really like care too much about. And then the third episode, it just sped through everything. So the manga in the first place I'm pretty sure it have 19 chapters. If I have got it correctly, just gonna take a quick look here. Also, I just like to show the book. It's a really, really cool. This is the deluxe edition I got a while back, and they have some little bit of a coloration pages and stuff like that. Mostly it's like black and white and all that, but there's still some cool like details over here and there. So yeah, there's 19 chapters completely, but there's also a lost chapter called the Galaxy, which is I'm not like too well read on like why that was not in or not, but there was an extra chapter, and they took pretty much almost everything. They kind of skipped out on a couple of things, and also they like shortened down a lot of things too. Made it almost like a little bit much like a reference to the manga, but there was also a bunch of parts in the show. I feel like they sped up more or less, but at the same time, but even if they were not able to like speed it up as much as they wanted, they kind of like took breaks from that storylines every now and then, and and especially one I feel like I personally feel like they kind of they kind of like ruin the mood for it and all that is when Suchi is, I don't even know how you pronounce his name. Suchi is one of the main characters' mother goes to the hospital, and she finds out that there's a spiral inside like the eardrum have like a spiral on it, and she goes crazy about it, and it ends with her stabbing herself through the ear and disconnecting like her ability to see or anything, and she just lives in pain, feeling like she's getting changed by spirals, and she becomes a spiral until the day she dies. And it's such a traumatic and sad part, even in the anime, but especially in the manga, because you actually write like a whole chapter is about the mother and everything that goes around there. So it becomes really, really sad, and it's really fucked up. But because the anime is kind of like jumping between everything that's happening, and also they take another chapter from the book. I think it's called Mosquito. I'm not completely remember correctly, but there's also a part where Kiri's character, the second, well, isn't technically the main character. Meanwhile, Suzuki is the boyfriend of the main character, right? And there's another chapter where Kiri goes to the hospital from an accident, and this shows that all pregnant women in this hospital are drinking blood like mosquitoes. And at the same time, Sushi's mother is in the same hospital, but she doesn't get affected by this by any chance. Anywho, but because they jump between that and a couple of other parts of the manga in the anime, you kind of like forget about the whole part. So you kind of like forget the build up to her death. There's supposed to be like a huge impact, and it kind of like takes away a lot of it. And I don't know. I personally got disappointed. even the fourth episode kind of like stressed out a bunch, but at the same time it kind of like gave you some type of like answer. And I must say I did like the touch of in the end, and this is like spoilers, and of course if you're watching this you're probably not doing yourself a favor in the first place, even if I maybe haven't not talked too much about the story personally. But they like in the end of the credit scene, it kind of like comes to like a part when like everything has been reset and everything starts over again. I thought that was kind of like a nice touch. Apparently, that is not a part on the manga, but I feel like it kind of like gave you an idea, like, but it can be a continuation or like the curse continues on type of idea. Like, sure, they kind of like write it out already in the manga, but this is kind of like a visual representation of it, even if it shows like new characters, but pretty much the same situation and storyline is keeping on again, which I felt like was kind of cool, and like a lot of visuals in the show was really cool, really nicely, and a lot of things that like adapted, especially like the horror factors, because there's many memorable horror factors in the book personally, and Juni Ito, the author and the illustrator for this book and a bunch of other ones he made, is just some of the like most legendary, like you can see. I'm pretty sure like some of you guys have seen probably some of this like spreading out online. If you're maybe like more into like manga and all that manga and anime, you've probably seen this like, and you know, like it's a Johnny Ito thing. And even like further away from that, you may have seen Drop Dead Clothing, the clothing line owned by Alice Sykes, the vocalist from Bring Rise, even did a collaboration with the Johnny Ito. And I've seen a bunch of other companies and stuff like that do like some bigger or smaller like collaboration with Johnny Ito in recent time too. So the name is popping out there for sure. Yeah, but I don't know. I was personally a bit disappointed. Even once again, I know I'm going back to like the art direction, all that, and like that is it is a huge disappointment. They actually it dropped in quality so much from the first episode, because the first episode is a masterpiece, and I feel like the first episode was a fucking great start, but like in the end it kind of like give you like I was hoping for more. Third episode probably the worst one. I would recommend check it out, but if you have Max and you like really want to check it out personally, I will though personally recommend to check out the manga instead. There's a lot more story, you get like more out of it, and also it still looks really really awesome. And I don't know if there's a bunch of other editions, but this one have some really cool like coloring parts, also like the regular manga parts too. It's a nice one to have in the collection. Also, in the end, they also have is it called like forward? Afterward. They have an afterword that is made up in a comic when Ito himself falls into the idea of spirals, which is kind of like a hilarious little afterword. But yeah, I would recommend check that out. Check out the anime if you really feel like it. But once again, I do hope we will see something else coming out, that it will be Juni Ito affiliated. Like I watched the Netflix series, which I personally felt like was meh. I know there's another one that I haven't checked out at all. I did see it was on Crunchyroll, so I may check it out eventually. But other than that, I don't think there's much more to say about it. Once again, they couldn't have done great with it, but sadly, it didn't happen. It is what it is. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. Stay awesome and bubbly, and let me know what you do think about it. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Stay cool.